So let's start with the classic question. Have you read or seen the Goosebumps series before?
I had never read any of the Goosebumps books before I made this movie. Well, that's not true. I read the script. I loved it. I said, yes, I want to make this movie. And then I read the books. You know what I mean? But not all of the books. He's written like 100 books.
Of course.
I read like 6 of the books.
It's enough for the material. So you have 2 sons. Would you let them see the movie when?
Oh yes, my boys love the movie. My boys are 7 and 9 years old, and they love monsters. And yeah, that's why I made the movie, really, because I wanted to make a cool movie that was scary, but not too scary. Something that my kids would love.
Funny, scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you afraid of monsters when you were a kid?
I loved monsters, but sure. I mean, I was afraid of them, but I also love them. That's the thing about monsters is, it's always kind of a love-hate relationship you have with the characters. They're cool, but you know, they're also creepy.
Exactly. So you've met R.L. Stein, obviously. How is it? How is it different from your character in the movie?
Yeah, so I got to meet the real R.L. Stein, and he was really sweet and funny and fun to hang out with. And he also has a great sense of humor, so he didn't mind that I was playing a very different person than the real R.L. Stein. Because the character that I play in the movie is antisocial and kind of mean and a little bit sinister. And he's got a secret, you know, he's very mysterious. And he understood, the real R.L. Stein understood that we had to do that for dramatic reasons. But yeah, they're very different.
Did he give you any advices or suggestions?
Well, he advised us not to be too scary. He said, you can be scary because that's what it's all about, but remember that we're making this movie for kids. My audience is kids, and I don't want to give them nightmares. So we said, okay.
So I have to confess, I waited the entire movie for the evil hamsters, but they didn't show up.
That was the one we didn't do. We did everything except for the evil hamsters.
Exactly.
We had to save something for the sequel.
True. Which monster was your favorite from the movie?
Well, Slappy's my favorite. I mean, he's the least sort of scary in terms of his appearance. He's not a gigantic muscle-bound monster, but he has the most evil mind.
You voiced Slappy as well. Or how was the process? Was it the same as Kung Fu Panda or any?
It was similar, although in Kung Fu Panda we record our voices first and then they animate around the voices. This one, we had a ventriloquist who was doing the puppeteering and the voice while we filmed, and then in post I went in and replaced his voice, so I got to look at the performance and put my voice to the picture. So it's kind of the opposite of Kung Fu Panda.
So what would you like to imprison in a book?
My never-ending hunger for fried foods. I'd like to put that monster away forever. It's a terrifying beast.
What would you create for your personal gain?
I'm hungry right now. A little creature that would tell me what stocks are going to go up before they go up. That's all you need for personal gain, right? Trump has one of those monsters in his pocket. That's why he's so rich. It's got to be the reason.
No way.
It can't because he's intelligent.
Oh.
He's as stupid as an ox.
No comment.
He's got all that money because of his little monster in his pocket. What do you got there?
Yeah, how is it to work with young actors?
Oh, well, you know, young actors are just like adult actors. You want to get the best actors, you know, and we were very lucky. We got these amazing kids to play these roles. And I loved going to the set every day because they were so brilliant. Much better than me, actually. They're real good actors.
Can you elaborate about the relationship between your character and his daughter, Hannah, without spoiling the movie?
Oh, yeah, that's tough. But yeah, Hannah is his daughter, and she is aware of all of the monsters and the importance of keeping them in their prisons, and she's like his best friend too. and she has special powers that you find out throughout the course of the film.
So the ending is very open, kind of like the books actually. So does it mean that there will be a sequel?
You never know, you know? It all depends on how the film does in France.
Yeah, of course, we're the biggest market. And I'm also a huge fan of School of Rock, obviously.
Oh, merci beaucoup.
It's on hold for the moment, but would you be in, if there was a sequel?
In a School of Rock sequel?
Yes.
I certainly hope so. I guess the Broadway cast could just make a movie. But yeah, it's very close to my heart. It's my favorite movie that I made, and yeah.
How do you manage to be funny whereas being grumpy?
It's fun to play a grumpy character, and it can be funny. You don't have to be likable to be funny. You know what I mean? Sometimes those are the funniest characters, the grumpy curmudgeons. My favorite show, there's a guy in the States named Larry David, and he has a show called Curb Your Enthusiasm. And he's very grumpy all the time. He's very negative, and there's great comedy inside of that because people can relate to grumpiness too. Everyone's got a grumpy side, so you can find humor in that very easily.
So it's your third work with Rob Letterman. How is it to work with him?
I had a great experience. This is my favorite one of the three. I think he's brilliant, and this is the movie that he was born to make, because he has a love of monsters and he has a love of CGI animation, and he's also got a tremendous sense of humor. So this was a great mix of all his strengths, and we have a good communication, having worked together so many times. It was great.
I have a question about The Brink.
Yeah.
Because I was so confused. It was renewed and canceled. What was that about?
Oh, well, yeah, I had a great time making that TV series. And unfortunately, our producer died, the great Jerry Weintraub legend. And the show kind of died with him, in a way. We couldn't do it without him. The end.
See. Oh, okay. Would you go back to TV when, your last experience wasn't that well?
Absolutely, yeah. I love... my favorite shows right now, for the most part, are television shows. I watch more television than I do go to the cinema. I like the opportunity to tell long stories. Why tell a 2-hour story when you can tell a 20-hour story?
Exactly. Which show would you like to guest star in?
Maybe The Walking Dead. Or Game of Thrones. Do you have Game of Thrones here?
Of course. You're not English enough for Game of Thrones. I'm sorry.
Are you kidding me? Look, all of the actors in Walking Dead are British.
Yes, yeah.
So why can't there be some people from the United States in Game of Thrones? I can put on a British accent.
Sorry, can you do that?
Perfect. Don't I sound like a Brit?
That's so posh.
Listen to the way that I talk. It's true. It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true.
Okay, thank you. So I have a last favor. It's for the website I work for, Mademoiselle. Can you read it in French?
Oui.
It's jolie mademoiselle et j'en ai une grosse paire.
Gelée, mademoiselle. Etienne, a une grosse paire.
Yes, that's good. That's perfect.
That's all right.
Thank you.
We did our
very
best.
much.
People in the community can relate to that. The feeling of people saying that your love is not valid.